What do you say, everybody? Welcome to Bama Insider in the Bama Insider YouTube channel. It's a watch party tonight as Kyle Henderson, Trey Annity, and me, Mick Gillespie, are going to be with you tonight. And we're going to watch Alabama hopefully scoop up a bunch of awards on what has really been a fantastic season so far for the SEC champs. Guys, like and subscribe as you hang out with us. Hit the bell. That way you'll know when Bama Insider's live with different shows. And, of course, anything going on with the Crimson Tide, we cover it on a daily basis. He's the managing editor of Bama Insider, Kyle Henderson. What's up, man?
What's up, Mick? What's up, everybody? Let us know where you're coming from inside the comment box. We got the College Football Award Show on tonight. Alabama could make a major sweep of the major award. So the way it's going to work is I think it's going to be an hour-long show or something like that. So we're going to hang out, watch it with you. We have some stats and some graphics lined up in case some of these players do win their particular awards. William Anderson is up for a major award tonight, Defensive Player of the Year. You also have Bryce Young up for the Davey O'Brien as well as the Maxwell Award. And then for the Biletnikoff, you got Jameson Williams. So thank you very much to everybody that's joining us tonight. And then I notated that the Heisman Trophy is on Saturday. So come back and hang out with us on Saturday for the Heisman party.
Hey, I'll be there. What's up, Trey?
What's going on, guys? Great to be back. It's my favorite time of the year when we get to join the Bama Insider fans on these watch parties and break down these awards. And guys, get in the comments. Let us know what you think. Obviously, Will Anderson, not a Heisman finalist, but could be winning some awards tonight. So we're going to see what we got. Excited for this show. Always a lot of fun. Jameson Williams is going to be my favorite, award to watch tonight, award finalist to watch tonight in the Biletnikoff Award. But all the way around, just a great event. Excited to see how it shakes out tonight.
Yeah.
Mick, it seems like you got some sort of an echo coming in. So while you clean that up, I'll take over and fly the plane. What's up, Bailey Lee? We see you inside the comment box. Not sure what's going on with Mick's echo. He's going to check back out. Trey, I mean, as we look to these particular players and you kind of spot shadow big time players, and you kind of you look at the Davey O'Brien Award and you kind of look at the finalist. This goes to the top quarterback in the country, and you know who won this last year, right, Trey? Trivia.
Yeah, I mean, this award I think was deserving last year, and I think in most years, Mac Jones is probably your Heisman winner last season. But obviously this year, some great finalists as well. Two guys that are going to be going to New York on Saturday. Bryce Young, of course, really three guys here that are going to be going to New York on Saturday. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and Kenny Pickett. And, all three of these very deserving guys. C.J. Stroud kind of had a slower start. Obviously, Bryce Young kind of had to take over and really be a leader early on with this team. So he's been able to pad those stats. I think this one's going to be a sweep as well for Bryce Young. I don't think C.J. Stroud did enough this season. He had an unbelievable few games down the stretch there and looked really good. And I think, in the future, we could be seeing C.J. Stroud as maybe the Davey O'Brien or the Heisman. But, I think Bryce Young was just the most elite player in college football, let alone the most elite quarterback in college football. And Kenny Pickett, great season as well. He led his team to an ACC title and was really the best player throughout the whole thing. So deserving award here, but just kind of interested to see how the votes go. I think this award could be really telling of what we see on Saturday night. I mean, this is, kind of a de facto Heisman here. And, maybe we see C.J. Stroud win the Davey O'Brien. At times in the past, we've seen quarterbacks that, America kind of knows aren't going to win the Heisman Award, get this trophy as something, as a consolation, if nothing else. That could be the case tonight. I think they, all three are deserving of it. But I think Bryce Young takes this one home.
Yeah, I do too. And I mean, you look at last year's winner, Mac Jones, of the Davey O'Brien Award, and then you look what he's been able to do with the New England Patriots, which what was crazy, though, is a couple nights ago, he only had to throw 2 passes in an entire game. You watched that, Trey, when they went up to Buffalo, right?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe that. The funniest part was at the beginning of the game when they kicked off and it went into the stands because the wind was blowing so hard. But as you said, I mean, Kenny Pickett doing a great job this year. I mean, his stats, 4,300 yards. It's really amazing to see how many yards that he put up tonight. I just got an update from Tony, and I'll read that in just a second. And then you look at C.J. Stroud, what he's been able to do as a redshirt freshman at Ohio State. I think that was really impressive as well. But people want to talk about this young man, and rightfully so. And William Anderson and how he was, snubbed from the Heisman. I mean, what was your take on that? I think that we got Mick back. Mick, you good?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me without an echo?
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Listen, I think you bring up a great point. when you look at his numbers compared to any other defender in the country, it really is puzzling as to how he wouldn't have been involved. With that said, I feel like there's just this disconnect sometimes between voters, college football public in general, and what Alabama's been able to do. And it's probably hard for a lot of people to swallow the fact that Alabama has the best two players in the country on their team right now, and both of them are sophomores.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. I think that, this team certainly played sophomoric this season, right? Especially in the early part of the season, maybe even at times throughout the later part. But I think as the season matured, so did these players. You look at kind of the leadership roles that these players accepted during the beginning of the year, when maybe there wasn't that senior leadership that Alabama is used to, and how they were able to become leaders now, closer to being juniors. I've always remembered this from Nick Saban. Nick Saban said, at the end of the year, are these players really still freshmen? If they're true freshmen, they're actually sophomores, because they've had so much time. And I kind of looked away, what he said with these sophomores. Are they still sophomores? No, they're juniors now. And they've had that much of experience. And the Davey O'Brien Award, looks like Bryce is the first man up, that he was able to win Davey O'Brien. I think they just announced it. Can you double check that, Chris, for us on the screen?
Yep.
Is he the winner? Yeah, I think he's the winner, right?
He is. I believe he is your Davey O'Brien for this year.
It really is phenomenal what he's been able to accomplish. And this is, part of what is going to be a sweep of awards for Bryce Young in particular, and Alabama as well. I mean, winning the game against Auburn the way that he did, the remarkable drive at the end of the game, maybe his worst performance as a QB, turned into that moment, which we figure is going to be a Heisman moment. But right now it's a Davey O'Brien moment, which is a top quarterback in the country, and then came back against Georgia, the number one defense in the country, guys, and absolutely on the biggest stage delivered.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And here they have Bryce Young. Looks like he's going with a soft turtleneck that is like kind of almost like a oatmeal white. And then he has this blazer on that has like these, how would you describe that, Trey? I mean, you're watching that, right? I mean, it's basically like almost kind of like a striped kind of blazer with the turtleneck. I don't know. I mean, he comes with.
This is clean. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be able to outdo Devontae Smith from last year. The velvet suit is my all-time favorite, of course. But this is clean. I'm excited to see the rest of the outfits tonight. This is something I forgot about, how crazy they go. It's like an NBA post-game interview here. But, it's so deserving for Bryce Young. And like Mick said, I mean, he had that Heisman moment and the stats all season long to go with it. And, his team's on top right now. And to get back to Will Anderson real quick here, I think that, when that news was announced, I was maybe the least shocked person on planet Earth because of just how this award is voted on. It's not a computer system. They're maybe not even looking at numbers. It's voter to voter. It's all humans. And, it's not humans in Tuscaloosa or wherever. And I think people, almost everybody had Bryce Young at least in their top two on this ballot. And, when you're putting an Alabama athlete on there, you maybe don't want to go with another player on that team, especially when this has kind of been the down year for Alabama. So I get it. I completely understand it. In a vacuum, his stats doubled Aiden Hutchinson. It's not to take away from Aiden Hutchinson, but when you have twice as many tackles for loss, twice as many total tackles, more sacks, more breakups, one less forced fumble, it was a little bit head scratching, but I completely understand why it went the way it did. I mean, it's just how the Heisman works.
Let me ask you guys this, while Bryce Young is winning this award, how many turtlenecks do you have in your closet right now, Kyle?
0, man. I had, what was crazy though, is I went through this time, I think it was like in 1996, 1997, where I was a turtleneck monster. That's all I rocked. It was crazy. I don't know what took control over me, but that's all I would go with. I had blue, black, white, every single color, and that's what I would rock with. So look, I'm not hating on the turtleneck. I haven't worn a turtleneck in many, many years. Maybe I need to revisit the wardrobe. I guess give me a thumbs up if you want to see me in the turtleneck, man.
That's a good reason to like and subscribe.
We'll bust it out. But Trey, these stats. It looks like they're putting up the defensive award here coming up here pretty soon.
Well, they're getting to him pretty fast.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Yeah, I like that. The faster the better, right?
Rapid fire.
Yeah, here it is. The Chuck
Veneric,
yeah, here we go.
William Anderson, Jordan Davis, Kyle Hamilton, and Thibodeaux.
Well, that's the interesting thing is how is the Heisman candidate from Michigan not even on this list?
That's where you really start to think about it. And I think that's where, you look at how these awards are voted on, and each of these awards are different in a sense. And you look at the Chud Bednarik the other day, or Bednarik, excuse me. This award embodies the best defensive player in the country. If Will Anderson, is dominating the rest of these three guys who are equally as deserving, I think, maybe for even a Heisman vote, it tells you everything you need to know. But credit to one guy I want to highlight here, Kayvon Thibodeaux. Absolutely monster season. And a guy that, if Alabama fans remember, was deciding between the Crimson Tide and Oregon back in the day. I didn't know what he would look like up there. It's kind of, Oregon's had some weak defense over the years. Mario Cristobal obviously had that group going this year. So he's somebody to look out for, here. But I think Will Anderson's going to take this one home. I think Will Anderson is going to get the justice he deserves tonight with these other awards. But, Kayvon Thibodeaux is maybe the other guy to look out for here.
We have Smithworks is on here. He's like, I haven't worn a turtleneck since 1972. So yeah. Let us know in the comment box how you look. Max is saying the turtlenecks are fire. So
yeah.
Hey,
I went through the turtleneck craze too, Kyle. I'm with you on that. There was a time when you had to have the black turtleneck and at least the black and the white turtleneck. Now you having the blue turtleneck, that's a whole nother level right there.
What was crazy, I didn't know that coming into the show. I didn't know that turtlenecks were going to be such a big part of the opening show. But what was crazy is I even had them for like my sporting event. So like when I played baseball, we had navy blue. So I like had a navy blue. I was all in. I was all in.
Underneath the jersey. That's wow.
They do keep you warm.
Yeah. Our producer Chris actually rocked a great for Halloween. He was going to khaki, so
I gotta say, John Martin in the comment section. Did you see that? Mick definitely looks like a turtleneck kind of guy. You guys aren't supposed to make the host laugh like that. It's pretty funny though.
I have a stat that I wanted to throw up, and the University of Alabama put together this great graphic while we're talking about William Anderson, kind of just the comparison of William Anderson compared to some of these past college football greats. And I think this is such a great graphic because it shows you the dominance that William Anderson had and the impact that he had this year, right? I mean, you look at him compared to, who doesn't know these young men on the left, Boza Donald, Sue and Young. Complete ballers. And for him not to, he was definitely snubbed. If he doesn't win the Bednarik Award, I think that would also be, a big blow. I know that he did just haul into the Nagurski, which which is another huge award. I'm not sure why it's not on this show. I don't understand the dynamics of what award makes which show. But this graphic, I think, is very telling.
Oh, this is everything you need to see. And what's crazy about this graphic, Chase Young just 2 seasons ago was, looked at as maybe the best edge rush in history. And he's at the bottom of this list, which is just crazy to think about what Will Anderson's done. And I think, it kind of is a reflection of the way sports work today. You look at Mike Trout, he's probably the best player in Major League Baseball, but he's not talked about as much as Ronald Acuna or Fernando Tatis or some of these other guys because he's just not a flashy guy. Will Anderson's kind of the same way. He's off the grid. He's not going to, get in your face or, maybe show some energy in a post-game interview. He did that this past Saturday, but I think that's the fullest extent you're going to see. He is a quiet, just dominator on defense. These numbers speak for themselves. He's got 2 more games potentially to make these look even crazier. And, he did get that award the other night. I think sat down with Pops today, tried to get an understanding of all this. I believe that these awards are their own deal. The one 2 nights ago, the defensive award was its own deal, and the Heisman Trophy is affiliated with its own organization. So it's kind of weird how it works, but he deserves all of these defensive trophies tonight, yesterday, whenever.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Jarvis, one of our favorite callers and definitely someone that always is hanging out with us here on Bama Insider with the Super Chat. Thank you so much. This sophomore class at Bama already 2 SEC championships, a natty, a chance at another natty, 25-1 record so far. And then don't forget the Heisman.
Yeah, think about it. I was listening to Jay Barker's show today, which, by the way, you can watch on our YouTube channel every single day from 12 to 2. And he said, he brought up this. He was like, these freshmen have an opportunity to win 3 championships in a row. Last year, they were part of that championship, right? If they win the championship this year, and I think they're going to be the absolute monster favorites to win it next year.
Yeah.
Bryce coming back and William Anderson. I mean, they'll talk about, just living in success and the Heisman trophies and all these continued accolades. And I think Bailey Lee brings up a good point in the comment box is, the Bama fatigue, isn't going away. I think that Bama fatigue certainly exists. I think there was a lot of, people in that playoff room, the playoff committee, that were hoping that Alabama would lose to Georgia so they could, somehow shuffle the playoffs around, because Alabama continues. As soon as they went to that playoff format, Alabama, we all knew that Alabama was just going to be like, they're in every year. They even made it that one year they didn't even play in the SEC championship. That really pissed people off.
Yep. It really is. This year, though, is, I think, Nick Saban's best coaching job. I mean, just what he's been able to accomplish with this team and the struggles and the weaknesses really overshadows anything that I could have imagined. And they're not done yet. They have a chance to win it all. They have a big matchup with Cincinnati as we wait on the Chuck Veneric Award. Chuck Veneric, guys, played for the Eagles. And one of my best friends, Jake, was a huge Eagles fan, and he used to have this T-shirt with Chuck Bednarik standing over top of Frank Gifford. Do you remember Frank Gifford?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I guess he laid a hit on Frank Gifford when he was with the Giants, a legendary hit, and they weren't sure if Frank Gifford was going to get up. Bednarik was like a rock out on the football field. So it's pretty cool to see these awards. I like all of them. They're neat looking. And it just to think about what Bama's trophy case has become under Nick Saban really is amazing. And I mean, it's just getting better and better.
Yeah. And it was just announced that the Veneric Award went to Jordan Davis. And look, congratulations to Jordan Davis and everything that Georgia has been able to do. I think that, Georgia has really put together a strong season, but I mean, where was Jordan Davis during the SEC championship game? Honestly, and I'm not throwing shade. I'm asking, because I think Alabama had such a great game plan that he was pretty much a non-factor, right? I think they talked about him a couple times, but and I know it doesn't come down to one game, but I just don't think that. See if we can fit him in the picture. He's a big boy, and just to see that. Him coming away with an award like this, I don't feel he had the impactful season that William Anderson did.
Well, you had the stats up there, and the stats weren't even close.
Yeah.
Tackles for loss, sacks. Is there something else that goes on in football that we don't know that, could be why they would pick Jordan Davis over Will Anderson? Or is it just the fact that they don't want Alabama to win every single award?
I'm gonna make a stretch here to make Alabama fans feel better, but Chuck Bednarik was a linebacker. Had this conversation today. He played a lot. He played all over the field, really. He kind of looked as an outside linebacker, defensive end at times. The NFL was different back then. My thought here, maybe Jordan Davis, he plays right tackle. He's not an edge rush, but at times he had to get double teamed. That freed up some other guys on his defense. Maybe they're thinking he was just such a presence like Chuck Bednarik. It's fitting for the award. That's my stretch for the night. That's what I'm going to go with here because Will Anderson deserved this one too.
Or it could be this too, guys. I mean, he's the best player on the perceived best defense in college football, or at least he's the face, right? And I mean, think about his season up until they ran into Alabama. What if a lot of these votes came in before the SEC championship game?
I don't know. I mean, we put up the stats here on the screen. Pinnacle, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate you. We see you inside there. You and Jarvis, we really appreciate you. So thank you so much. We're gonna probably go to Wendy's. We got the $4.99 from Jarvis, and we got the $4.99 from Pinnacle. So someone hook Trey up so he can grab something to eat as well. But like I said, you look at the stats on the screen. I think he certainly had an impact. It's not a large volume of statistics, whereas I think with William Anderson, he was just like, if William Anderson doesn't play, if he misses a couple games for Alabama, I don't think Alabama wins those games. Same with Bryce. I mean, honestly, if you don't have Bryce as the quarterback this year, Alabama's winning how many games? Like 7?
Yeah.
Seriously, which is crazy to say. But I honestly think that.
Oh, it's accurate. I mean, there were so many games that were decided by, just this play or that play where you really needed that leadership, because this was always going to be a young team. And I see Pinnacle SP here in the comments asking about Josh Jobe. Probably going to be Jalen Armour-Davis as the replacement here. He's questionable right now, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Video out right now on our YouTube page here. But, this is an interesting one, because I think overall Jordan Davis is deserving of this award. But I'm seeing some more comments here that a lot of people are making good points. I mean, Will was double teamed too. This defense looked really good at the end of the year, but maybe you're right there, Mick, in saying that some of these votes came in early. I don't know.
Well, look, I'll tell you this. Will Anderson could very well be the first pick in the NFL draft. Jordan Davis won't be the first pick in the NFL draft. And I think when it all comes down to the bottom line, and we know the bottom line is money, I think that Will Anderson will definitely prove that he's the best defensive player in college football when that time comes. Now, what could be interesting is seeing Bryce Young and William Anderson going at it to be the first pick in the NFL draft. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, that who knows? I mean, the way that these guys are playing and kind of the trajectory that they're only going to get better. And I mean, Bryce Young, I mean, you kind of rewind to before the season, and you'll be curious to go play your comments or our comments and the things that we were questioning going in, because I don't think there was a lot of people that knew that Bryce was going to have this impact on the team. I don't think that people knew that he was going to reel off, one of the best seasons ever at not only at Alabama, but ever as a college football quarterback. I mean, what he's done are, past video game numbers. He's up for a couple more, another award tonight, which I think is the Maxwell Award. Whoa.
Whoa.
Well, there you go, Damien.
Holy cow, Damien. Wow. My goodness.
That's turtlenecks for everybody and cheeseburgers.
Damien just got us all new turtlenecks for the playoff season. We appreciate you, Damien. Thank you so much, man. I mean, goes a long way. So thank you so much. Profoundly thank you so much. And we appreciate you.
Yeah, echo that, Kyle. Exactly. We love you guys, and we appreciate all the super chats.
I was going to put up, I think, the Maxwell Award. I would assume the Biletnikoff Award is coming up here pretty soon. That goes to the best wide receiver in college football. I'll put the finalists up here so you guys can see that. Go ahead.
Let me throw this out to you guys. Jamison Williams to me was second round pick. Then the Georgia game. I think he's a first round pick. I think that game was kind of like he had a really good season before.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that was next level.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, a couple of things that really stand out to me about that particular performance by Jameson Williams was the acceleration that he displayed. Because so Alabama's down 10-0. I wasn't really worried about anything like that. I knew that Alabama, there's plenty of time left. But when Bryce connected with Jameson and the defender from Georgia even had an angle on him, Jameson Williams, and we'd be curious to find out how fast that he ran through the strength and conditioning, because each player has a GPS monitor on him. Holy cow.
Oh,
woo. Merry Christmas. Turtlenecks for everybody.
Man, we appreciate it. Let me read this one, Kyle. Merry Christmas and roll damn tide. We repeat. And we three-peat next year. They can choke on that fatigue, baby. Love you guys from Kentucky, man. We love you guys too. And that's the truth. Roll Tide.
No doubt. Thank you so much, JR. You're clearly all in, and we appreciate it. And just as I was saying about Jameson Williams, I mean, the acceleration that he had and what he's been able to display from a speed standpoint, he's a first-round guy. Absolutely. And I want to see which receiver, just as you do, steps up during the playoffs, because losing Mechie is a gigantic part of this offense. You're looking at a guy who has 13 targets per game, a guy that is an inspirational leader, leads by example. I love the swagger that John Mechie has. I kind of look back to the game against Georgia, before the Georgia, and they're talking about John Mechie, and they're like, how do you feel about going against the number one defense? And John Mechie was like, well, I feel like we go against the number one defense every day at practice. And I was like, geez, he's right. I mean, the guys on Alabama's defense, Georgia probably has a better defense in total, but I mean, look, Alabama's going against Alabama, just as Will said. He's like, we're Alabama. And losing Mechie is big, but, the way that Jameson Williams turned it up in the SEC championship, he's going to be making a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, when you can separate on Georgia defenders like that, guys that are going to be playing in the NFL, the Nakobe Deans of the world, these guys, that's NFL stuff. I think he's going to be a lottery pick. I think he's going to win this award. I don't know if we have a correction here on our stats. I believe he had 15 touchdowns this season, which isn't quite to that of Jordan Addison, but on 68 receptions, he was the big play guy. He was the guy that got that spark on offense all season long. And, now you talk about losing John Mechie. Jameson Williams is going to have an increased role, but I think he's still going to be that spark. I think he's still going to be able to get freed up because he's just that quick. We saw the kickoff return. We saw him really show off the speed. And something I loved what he said this week in his interview, he asked to be on the special teams. That's something that guys usually kind of get put on. And he wanted to be a part of that just because he's such a warrior. He's a dog. He's really been a leader on this team. I don't know if you guys saw this today too. There's a tweet from a professor at UA, his English teacher, talking about how good of a guy he was and how he would always bring a pen or a mask for his, his other classmates and stuff like that. I mean, this guy was a transfer. He came into this program, brand new, coming from another huge program that his team had just lost to Alabama in the national title. So this was, a really big leap for him to make. The fact that he was able to come in here and become wide receiver one, do what he did, put up these numbers, I think he's certainly deserving this award. And, like we're seeing in the comments here, deserving of a top 10 pick.
Yeah. And you know what? There were some drops at the beginning of the year. Those have kind of dwindled away. He gets open. He can run. He plays on special teams. And without him, I mean, Alabama would be in big trouble. I think that losing John Mechie is going to open the door, though, for some other guys. Alabama they've got Dallas Turner type of talent in the offense and the wide receiver room. And I think that some of those guys are going to get opportunities now. They've been here for, if they're freshmen, they've been here for the entire season, or if they're sophomores. I know that it's going to be tough not having Mechie, but you know what? If anyone can emerge, we'll see it. I mean, look at the way that the Iron Bowl went. Somebody's going to step up, and now they have a month to get, about a month to get ready. I as much as it does stink that John Mechie got hurt, I think Alabama's going to be all right in that department.
Yeah, Jai Hall getting some love in the comment section right now. Is this where we see a Jai Hall? Did it take John Mechie officially going out? Maybe. And, Kyle talked about a little bit earlier about looking back at some of our takes from the beginning of the season. One of my biggest misses was this wide receiver group. I thought we'd see a lot of a Jai Hall and see some of these younger guys, kind of worked in throughout the season. Down the stretch, obviously, Ja'Cory Brooks was a big piece of this wide receiver core. And, we saw JoJo Earl at times, but I think this is really when they're going to get activated. And, I think some of the playbook was held for that Georgia game. And, maybe in a season where Alabama goes into that 12-0, you see some more of those guys worked in against Auburn or, in some of these SEC games. But this is it. I mean, this is your opportunity. I think if a Jai Hall doesn't get the playing time here, it could be his final days in Crimson. I wouldn't be surprised to see something, a transfer or something like that after the season, because this is really an opportunity for these guys. Who's going to get it? I don't know, but my pick would be a Jai Hall at this point.
I don't necessarily agree with that, Trey, and thank you very much, Tyler Rogers. We appreciate the super chat, man. Is next year's team going to be as talented as 2019, 2020? I mean, who knows? I mean, with the talent that they have coming back and kind of all the maturity and some of these younger guys that got to play, I think what we'll do, Tyler, is once the season ends and kind of the dust settles, we'll put together kind of a projected early depth chart going into spring football. And I think we can revisit that because that's kind of been on my mind as well, kind of looking at that. But going back to Trey's point about a Jai Hall, I don't necessarily think that he hits the transfer portal. I think that Jai Hall, even if he doesn't get opportunities during the playoff season, I think he's going to be able to get refocused by the coaching staff. A lot of these wide receivers didn't really get to step up. And now with Mechie out, this is going to provide an opportunity for some of these guys to get reps. And remember, Jameson Williams and I would think that John Mechie are both going to the NFL. So who's going to step up for Alabama during the 2022 season? I think Trayshawn Holden is somebody that you should certainly be talking about. Ja'Cory Brooks, we saw him make a big touchdown and kind of how he's been able to come up with some big plays late in the season. You also have Christian Leary, who has moved to running back. There's a lot of guys that are going to get opportunities, but you're right. Javon Baker is a guy that I'm like, man, like, because we talked about Javon Baker so many times.
Yeah.
And is this now the time that he can get on the field? I guess we'll have to see.
Yep. And he was the guy that popped into my mind immediately, was Javon Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, you wonder, because I mean, I think coming into this season, we all thought he would maybe have more of a Slade Bolden role. He would kind of be that guy, really maybe get to start some games even, but, you know, we haven't seen him as much. I don't know. You know, I think they fell in love with Ja'Cory Brooks was one thing. And, you know, I think they still trust in Slade Bolden. They love his consistency, see him get the first pass of the game a lot of the times. But, you know, maybe we see the tight ends with an increased role. We haven't seen the tight end play nearly as much this season.
Yep. It's, you know, it's crazy that Alabama's rolling into this game against Cincinnati with a head of momentum. And this year has been so different than last year. And you're saying, well, what about next year? Think about just the injuries that Alabama's had to overcome this year. They had, like, Waddle got hurt last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, it wasn't many.
Oh, yeah. I mean, geez, the year before that, I mean, it was Tua was the biggest concern, right?
Yeah.
He was like hurt every time. Yeah, the injuries this year have been crazy. I sent a whole list to Trey today when we cut that Josh Jobe video, and you kind of look at the players that are out. Maybe Chris, let's get a list. I'll send this to you in the private chat area. So the players that are out for the playoffs, and listen very closely, because there's a lot of false information going around. So this is just injury updates, and I might just make a video to intel a little bit about this, because there's been so many people asking about these questions regarding the injuries, and I get it. And when the next award comes, we'll pop that on the screen. But out for the playoffs, like, and out means that the players are not coming back for the playoffs or the title game. Okay. These are the players that are completely out. John Mechie, he's out with the ACL. Jace McClellan, he's out with a knee. Roydell Williams, he's out with a knee. Kamar Wheaton, he's out. We actually never heard what Kamar Wheaton's injury was. So I don't even know. I couldn't tell you it was a knee, a foot. I don't know. Maybe that information might be out there, but never heard it from Saban. Chris Allen, this is very important. People are asking about Chris Allen, and there was someone that came on social media and they said, hey, I'm Chris Allen's brother, and he's making progress. Chris Allen came out later and said that he's not related to that guy. So it's some troll. And there's some very, some photos of Chris Allen's foot that I recently saw. Does not look good. So Chris Allen is not coming back for the playoffs. Not to our knowledge. And Nick Saban will give us a better indication about these injuries when we get closer to the Cotton Bowl. And then the next player is Josh Jobe. Matt spoke that today. Josh Jobe, Alabama's corner. I think he had surgery. It was turf toe, something like that. Questionable for the Cotton Bowl. And if Alabama's to make it the title game, Darian Dalcourt, Jalen Armour Davis, who's a corner, and then Robbie Oots. So it will be interesting to see if they can get Armour Davis healthy, because you have Kool-Aid, and then who else? Remember, Marcus Banks, who was getting some reps, he just entered the transfer portal. So now you kind of look to maybe a Kyrie Jackson, or, maybe you guys have been calling for Malachi Moore. Maybe some of these other players kind of hop up in there.
When you enter the transfer portal, I mean, is that it? You just stop showing up?
Man, if you're real confident that somebody's talking to you, that's a great question. Yeah. So and I think we need to get a better understanding about, because I think there's a lot of different situations. I think when a player enters the transfer portal, do they stop going to practice? Do they stop receiving, scholarship benefits? What is the actual process? This is the Wild West right now that we're in with this transfer portal. And remember, a couple years ago, I think it was last season, who was it that entered the transfer portal and then hopped back out and then hopped in and then hopped out?
Yeah.
What? So yeah, this is a Wild West. There's gonna have to be some restrictions put into the transfer portal. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, we hate the transfer portal. Well, you would hate a lot more if Alabama didn't get Jameson Williams and Henry Toto, because those guys were eligible to play right away, and it worked out great for Alabama.
Well, the other part too is don't think that Alabama's done in the transfer portal. I mean, we were talking about next year's team. When they go and get players out of that transfer portal, they're getting like first rounders. To'o, whether it's been exactly what we want. He's played really well his last couple of games. And then Jameson Williams and the success that they've had and looking around the country and kind of the direction of things, I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama doesn't dip their toe back in there a lot more in the future.
You know who just went in the transfer portal was Jacob Copeland from Florida. Do you see that?
Yeah,
wow.
That I don't think Florida necessarily used him correctly. I mean, shoot, they probably didn't have a quarterback to get him the football. But Copeland, I think, remember, I think Alabama was certainly in his top 3. He was one of the guys who, maybe keep an eye on. But as we track recruiting, and by the way, stay with us next Wednesday. Andrew Brown's going to knock it out the park. So National Signing Day, the early National Signing Day next Wednesday, hit the notifications to make sure that you're subscribed and ready to go for National Signing Day. And I think we got another super chat coming in, Mick.
Man, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. And look, just curious what you meant by last video game numbers earlier in the stream, and what's your prediction on the score in the first round playoffs? All right, Kyle, I'll let you go first.
Well, I mean, video game numbers. I mean, I still play. I have it here. I have NCAA football 2014. That was the last year that they made NCAA on the PlayStation 3. I still have a nice little dynasty going, and I've never been able to throw 40 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Maybe I'm just not good on the sticks, but you can certainly play me if you want, and we'll see how it goes. But Bryce's numbers overall, Chris, don't we have the numbers of Bryce overall this year? I think I can add them right there. I mean, look at these numbers: 4,300 yards, 43 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The passer rating was amazing. And I think that would be hard to do on a video game. That's kind of what I was thinking about when I said that. And I think, and what's your prediction for the first round? I haven't even really started to watch Cincinnati yet. I think what's the line right now, guys?
13.5.
13.5. So my early prediction, we'll have a score prediction show before the game. I would probably say Alabama 38, Cincinnati 17, something like that. But that's just early. I mean, I really haven't watched tape, and Cincinnati does have a really good quarterback, as you know, and the running back was at Alabama and Jerome Ford.
Yeah, good. I like that. What about you, Trey?
Yeah, I want to start by saying, don't let Kyle fool you. I've seen him play video games. He's a monster.
He's good on the sticks.
Yeah, it was actually last year. While I was still an intern at Bama Insider, he was playing some FIFA. He had some work to do or something. I had a second. He just told me to hop in the game. I think he was up 2 goals with like 10 minutes left. I let up a goal. I was sweating bullets, but no, Kyle is very talented on the sticks there. And, Bryce Young had, video game numbers. And that's why I think Alabama is going to set the tone in this game, get out to an early lead. And I have Cincinnati scoring 20 points. I don't know why that number is so vivid in my head, but I think Cincinnati is going to get to 20. And, I think Alabama is going to be somewhere in the 40s again for this game. Hopefully the defense, can tune it up without Josh Jobe. But I think, with a little bit of having to fill that gap in, and Cincinnati's offense, they could probably get somewhere close to 20.
I think Alabama is going to attack them a lot like they did Ole Miss. We know that Cincinnati has really good corner covers and a good secondary, right? But I just think what we found out in that Ole Miss game is Alabama can play smash mouth football. They went old school on the Rebels and just killed them. So I think Cincinnati's going to struggle in that department. And Alabama is so good when they have time to prepare. And they've got a lot of time to get ready. All those analysts, all those guys that will sit around and figure out the best way to proceed. I think Alabama covers the spread for sure in this game. And I think the momentum of that Georgia win, I don't think Alabama's going to let down, but I think Cincinnati has the ability to make it close.
Yeah, so let me chime in real quick because I think we're on a commercial break. Welcome to the award show. If you're watching, thank you so much. 675 people watching. Please hit the thumbs up. Really helps our channel grow. Means a lot. Special thanks to everybody that has super chatted us tonight. You can also become a member of our YouTube channel. Hit the join button underneath any of our videos. Williams has more than 6 touchdowns, Big Buck. That's a graphic mistake. I think he has 15 touchdowns. Is that right, Trey?
Yeah, 15 on the season.
Okay, so we'll update that graphic. So sorry about that. And Homer Simpson is getting pretty fired up inside the comment box from Pitt. Homer, look, man, I know things with Marge might be tough, but remember, you got a nice boy in Bart and Lisa and Maggie, so maybe chill out in the comment box.
Got the dog.
Yeah, and the dog, Santa's little helper.
Yeah.
That's the dog's name on The Simpsons. I'm telling you.
It is. Yeah, no, it is.
Okay, no, the Disney Spirit Award. Hey, look, Homer, you won the Disney Spirit Award. Trey Tempted.
Hey, there we go.
There you go. Okay. Dial it back. So we're waiting for this next award to drop, and once it comes, then we'll continue. So
always fun when we go through award season. In the last couple of years, it's just been amazing to see what Alabama's been able to do. If Bryce Young wins the Heisman, I mentioned this to you the other day, Kyle. It's crazy to think that he didn't really throw touchdown passes to Smitty. So 2 different guys on 2 different offenses in 2 different years. And it feels like an entirely different offense this year for Alabama than it was last year. And they were both amazing.
And the crazy thing is that they were roommates last year. I think I said that on our last show. How crazy is that? And think about the strategic planning of whoever designed that. I don't think it was luck that, Smitty was like, yo, I need a roommate. And Bryce was like, I'll room with you. No, I think that was that was part of Nick Saban's evil plan, right? Like, he was like the perfect guy for Devontae Smith, Bryce Young. And now those 2 guys, because think about it, while and I'm sure they practiced together plenty, they did have that touchdown. I think Bryce Young's first touchdown was to Devontae Smith, if I'm not mistaken, against Kentucky, right?
It was, yep.
Right? So those guys,
shoulder pass.
Imagine those late night conversations. What
right.
To be great. Well, young grasshopper sit down, right? And now look at him. I mean, this is incredible. So now we got the Biletnikoff Award, and honestly, Jordan Addison from Pitt, complete baller. David Bell, extremely impressive as well. Purdue was a kind of a spoiler this year, and then Jameson Williams, the transfer from Ohio State. Ohio State has some baller wide receivers, right? I mean, a lot of people said that that's why Jameson Williams left, was because he couldn't get on the field. I don't know if that's true. Trey and I have, hyped up a lot of those receivers from Ohio State, use them on our DraftKings squad.
Yeah.
But now, Jameson Williams came into Alabama and, really stole the show along with Mechie.
Part of this is opportunity, guys. I mean, you just got to have the opportunity to catch the ball, and if you're not playing, then you're not getting that opportunity. So for Jameson Williams to transfer, it turned out to be just a great maneuver for him and obviously for Alabama too.
Yeah, and I like how there was no bitterness, about this transfer on either side. He had his buddies. I think it was Chris Olave came down, Jackson Smith and Jigba, his former teammates at Ohio State, came down to the SEC title on Saturday to watch him play. So, I think that all is well. And obviously Ohio State, that receiving core had a lot of success this season. Garrett Wilson, another one of those guys. But, I think Jameson Williams understood that Alabama is just kind of the NFL factory at this point. And it's not to say that he couldn't have gotten to the NFL, at Ohio State, but he saw the writing on the wall, understood that Devontae Smith is gone, Jalen Waddle is gone. John Mechie will be a nice compliment, and, it's probably just a better chance to get to the next level. Obviously, it's panned out pretty well, but, I really did like how this wasn't a super bitter transfer like sometimes they can be.
Yeah, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe as you hang out with us here on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. For our watch party, it's not quite as formal as a lot of our other shows, but we're having a great time with you guys tonight, and I can't tell you how awesome it feels that you guys are hitting us with all these super chats tonight and questions in the comments. And if you're watching right now, as Kyle mentioned before, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. What a great year for Alabama after the SEC championship win. And we're waiting on the Biletnikoff Award winner to be announced and hoping that Jameson Williams will follow up Bryce Young, who won the O'Brien Award for the country's best QB.
And there was no drop-off that we didn't see from the receivers, right? Because you had, I mean, look, since I've been covering the team, 5 seasons, and I know that's not a long time, but when I showed up, it was, man, I mean, it's been unbelievable, right? You had Jerry Jeudy, you had Henry Ruggs, you had Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, and now you have Mechie and Jameson Williams. I mean, all those duos are just amazing, right? Those are some big time duos. And now, as we kind of turn the page to 2022, who is going to continue that lineage of great wide receivers, first round draft picks? And let me ask you this inside the comment box. Do you think that Mechie is a lock to leave to the NFL?
Man, it's an interesting one. This is one I go back and forth every day right now because I think there's a lot of value for John Mechie to return and, play next season, especially with the way Alabama's offense is going to be. I mean, it'd be one thing if Bryce Young was going on to the NFL, but he's going to have that guy to get him those reps, make him look NFL ready just the same. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Coming into the season, I would have told you were crazy if you thought John Mechie was going to stick it out for his senior year. But, after the injury, not getting to, win the national title with being on the field, winning the national title with his team, if they do go on to win it this year, I think that hurts. And I think he would want another chance at it. But, the money is pretty enticing there too. So I'm back and forth on this one.
What do you think as far as his draft grade is going to be? He's really good. He does drop a lot of passes.
Yeah, I think drops are important, but from what I've kind of noticed about the NFL draft and a lot of the players that get drafted at least higher up than you maybe would expect is just some of the skills they can do without the football. Guys are looking at, how well is he cutting that angle? How much separation can he get within 25 yards? The drops, obviously it's got to change, but, in the NFL, I think those guys just have the magic of, figuring out how to correct that. I think it's more about the off the ball skills, the separation, that kind of thing, the speed, which he has a lot of reliability. If he can't catch in the NFL, he's not going to make the cut, obviously. But, I don't think that's going to be an issue once they get to the combine. And, hopefully for Jameson, that's something he can clean up here.
Tyler Rogers. Oh, sorry, Kyle. Tyler Rogers, thanks for the super chat. One more year for Mechie. And Sam, man, we love you, brother. Thank you. What's up, fellas? Mick, Kyle, Trey, the 3-headed monster for Alabama football content. Kyle, $30 more, man. Thank you, guys.
Holy cow. Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. It goes a long way. A lot of moving parts here on Bama Insider, so we really appreciate it. Brock Bowers just got robbed by some young man from Colorado State. Brock Bowers, as you know, my goodness, that guy was a complete baller from Georgia. And, I'm sure that Alabama is trying to figure out even a game plan to somehow slow him down if those two teams are to meet again, because that guy was a monster. And I think that with Mechie, the one drawback, if you really want to know the truth, and even Mechie admitted this, is with the NFL in terms of grades, is he's got to run extremely fast in terms of a 40 time, because he's not the fastest wide receiver. But guess who wasn't the fastest wide receiver as well? Any questions? Any answers?
There's a lot of names in my mind right
Jerry
now.
Rice.
Jerry Rice wasn't known for his speed, but nobody could outwork him. He ran the cleanest routes, and his hands were amazing. Right now,
I got it.
Yeah. So I'm not comparing Jerry Rice, John Mechie to Jerry Rice, but I'm saying that John, and the thing about that John Mechie has is IQ. I mean, the guy is super smart, super intelligent. Tremendously hard worker. So who knows? But I don't know. I don't know if he's a complete lock for 2022 just yet. That's why I wanted to ask you guys inside the comment box. So I appreciate the feedback. Someone said Jerry Rice. Yeah, Brandon. What's up, Brandon Franklin? Appreciate it, man. Cousins to Ben by chance?
Do you remember those Jerry Rice videos, Kyle? I know you're a 49ers fan, where he would run up the side of the hill. He would run up the side of the hill to get his leg strength up.
Dude, he's a beast. He's a beast. That's what we have. My 12-year-old son. He's gonna start doing that as well. We have. He's doing the hills, and you know what? I follow. You got me going on Jerry Rice, didn't you? Jay Rice, man, he's still at it. If you follow him on Instagram, man, that guy will make you go for a run. Every morning you check your Instagram, he's completely drenched and he's like, go be the GOAT, Jay Rice. I don't know if they're like photos or whatever, but he is inspiring still. He played until he was like 48 years old or whatever, right?
Yeah, he was good.
He's going to play till he's 65 though, so
yeah. Jay Rice is the GOAT.
Did you hear Tom Brady? They said he never had a slice of pizza.
What kind of life is that, Kyle?
No, that's not.
No way.
Look, Homer Simpson. You got Jordan Addison winning the Biletnikoff. So Jamison Williams does not win the award. It goes to Pittsburgh's Jordan Addison. Wow. What do you guys think about that? Jeez.
Yeah, I saw him play against Tennessee earlier this year, and Kenny Pickett's a great quarterback. Kind of had a little bit of that Tom Brady look to him, pocket passer with a lot of poise, at a college level anyway. And that was his go-to guy, and he had a big game in that day, and he had a lot of big games this year. They threw the ball a lot. And for Pickett, it was this guy right here, Addison. That was his main target. And so it was a dream season for the Panthers. And it's hard to believe that they were once national champs. Can you believe that? But they had a guy named Tony Dorsett.
Yeah. Well, how many championships did they won? They won like 8, right? Something like that.
Did they?
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They won quite a few national championships. So yeah, and I mean, look, the quarterback had a successful season. Addison, he was a fantasy monster. If you play DraftKings, I do. And Jordan Addison would get you like 35, 40 points per game. And he put up a monster season, 93 receptions. John Mechie had 92. So you kind of almost wonder why John Mechie wasn't up here, as well. But yeah, so we move on. What the next major award, I think, is the Maxwell, which I'm assuming that they do at the end of the show. Let me see. I think I have a graphic for the Maxwell that I can pop up on here.
Yeah, I saw there's a graphic. A comment. Someone said the fake slide by Pickett was crap. They'll change the rule. Listen, they'll change the rule because of that fake slide. He's the first and the last to do that.
I like this comment right here. It's the only option at receiver award, apparently.
The craziest thing that Kenny Pickett said, it was the best soundbite of the year. And William Anderson has been on fire in terms of the sound bites. But after the game, I think Kenny Pickett and Pittsburgh beat Clemson the first time in a long time. As we have a Clemson fan just checking in. But he said, they were like, what are you going to do after the game? You know what I'm saying, Mick, right? And he was like,
yeah, I love this.
He's like, I'm going to go have a cold one. It's like, man, that's so awesome. He's so real. This guy's like 22 years old. He's going to go have like a, natty ice or something like that. Like, drink a cold beer and get ready for the next game. I thought it was funny. One of the better sound bites of college football, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably a Yingling, being that he's from up there in.
Yeah, you're right.
There in PA.
My goodness,
not bad. So here we go. Maxwell Award, the Player of the Year. You got Kenny Pickett drinking cold Yinglings. You got Kenneth Walker III. Had the one game against Ohio State. It really wasn't his fault. His team was just so far behind that that he didn't really get to do much. They didn't give him the ball. And then there's Bryce Young looking for another award. And like you said, Kyle, the 43 touchdown passes and the 4,322 yards just seems amazing.
Yeah, it's quite the season. What else can you say about it? And I think he only has gotten better game by game. He didn't have his strongest game against Auburn, but in crunch time, the guy put together one of the best drives that we've seen in years, throwing it to a freshman wide receiver. I like this last game in particular against Georgia because what I saw from him was he ran the football when he needed to. He's been really patient with the football, which I appreciate because if he goes down, Alabama's in trouble. But the one glaring point that really stood out to me against Georgia was his deep ball accuracy. I think he really found that. And that's something that I think he's been searching for or trying to find a rhythm. I don't know what was going on. But when he directed Mechie to the right end zone and just put the ball in the money, I was like, yep, that's it. And, the season overall and how he's handled himself, I mean, the guy's a complete baller. I mean, I think he was minus 5,000 to win the Heisman Trophy. So it's almost be like a complete shocker if he doesn't win the Maxwell Award.
Yeah. And look at the Maxwell Award itself there. What do you guys think of that?
Almost looks like a miniature Statue of Liberty in football. That's a good one.
Are we dissing on Maxwell?
Yeah, I mean, look at that thing. Like, is that before leather helmets?
I think this is
he's got like some like this girdle. That was when you wore your girdle outside of your uniform, I guess. And then you have like, this tuxedo vest with then you have like these like odd shoulder pads up top. I mean, yeah, this is and then look at. I mean, is this the natural color of it, or is it like Trey said? I mean, because I think didn't when the Statue of Liberty came over, wasn't it was supposed to be like copper or something?
It was like, yeah, right.
Yeah, it was golden. It's and I don't know if this award, what year this is set in, but I did not expect to hear the word girdle on the show tonight. I'm glad I get that one in here.
Girdle. Yeah. So this will really make you mad. So when I was updating the photos and putting together the images, I could only find one photo of this beautiful trophy, and look whose name was on it. If you zoom in.
No, Tim Tebow. Look at that.
There we go.
God, that's so funny. Yeah. I didn't expect to laugh this hard tonight. between turtlenecks and girdles,
right?
Fashion.
I don't know how you. I mean, Bryce Young's got to be the player of the year, right? I mean, he's going to be the Heisman Trophy winner, and look, Kenny Pickett had a great season too, and look at the yards that he has. But Bryce Young's just been amazing. Up, Kyle, look what we got here. Mark G, what's up, dude? Thank you, man.
Yeah.
In honor of Will A.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis getting this award is a joke. All hype, man. Thank you for the super chat.
Man, William Anderson. I mean, it's a shocker that he wasn't on the Heisman ballot. Just like Najee last year. I was pretty pissed about Najee because the season that Najee put together, if you go back and look at the stats, I mean, he was a beast mode. By the way, I just saw a photo of him on social media of him taking photos at the game. He has like a long lens. They're like teaching him how to take a photo. Najee, like go look it up. It's hilarious. But I mean, overall, William Anderson, I mean, this guy is it looks like he's been snubbed a couple times, but you know who else was snubbed a bunch of times, and then he came back and he just won everything, was Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, was snubbed. He wasn't like all SEC. People didn't, recognize him for a couple of awards, and then he came back, won the Heisman, and just mic dropped everyone. I wanted to play this story real quick, this video. I'm sure you saw it on our YouTube channel, but I think it was one of the funniest stories. So William Anderson was recently asked if he'd ever hit Bryce in practice. I got to play it. Here it is. Here's Will Anderson talking about that one time he hit Bryce at practice.
If I could, have you ever messed up in practice and hit Bryce when he's wearing a Buck jersey?
One time, and I've never done it again. One time, we was doing a 2-minute drill, and I swore I didn't hit Bryce. But it's kind of hard when you're a passionate rusher and – You're rushing. Oh, excuse me. When you're rushing a passer and you're going full speed and you're trying to stop, but it's like your natural instinct to put your hands up. So I put my hands up one time and he was throwing the ball and my hand came down, I think like on his arm in his hand. And like the whole practice, it just was like, is Bryce okay? And I was like, I got my coach, Sal, he cussed me out. He's like, I told you, you stupid. But yeah, it's okay. We're good though. But that's the only time.
So he was okay?
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
And after the game Saturday, you were pretty fired up. What was that moment like for you when you were doing a Zoom interview?
All right, that was that clip. William Anderson, complete beast, and I was when he said that, I could tell like the media rep for Alabama when he started saying, because Sal Sinceri, I mean, he gets into the players. He's like an old school coach, right? So sometimes you have to censor it down when he's out there, but he gets into it. And he's back there, and he's like so Will's like going off, and you could hear like Alabama in the background, like, stop.
Yeah, Josh Maxim. No, we don't need this right here. But you know what? I think that's why people appreciate Will Anderson and the other guys too, when they're just candid, when they're candid and genuine.
That's how you gotta be. Yeah. And I think that's what Saban likes, honestly. Like, if you're out there and you ever meet Nick Saban, be yourself. He respects that more than anything. Like, if you come around and you have some facade about you're intimidated or whatever, I mean, he picks that up right away. So just be real. That's how you got to be. And I think like William Anderson, some of these other guys that are just themselves, not only does it help them just in general, like not only in the football field but in life, like just be yourself. I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, Jordan Davis picking up the Outland Trophy here now as well. 2 awards. I think this one, I could have, maybe seen here. Surprised that he took home both of the defensive awards to this point, though.
Well, it's for the most outstanding interior lineman. And so, it's kind of right up his alley. A lot of times you'll see an offensive lineman win this, but Jordan Davis has kind of been that guy who's been the face of Georgia, and they've been number 1 for a long time. And up until the Alabama game and since the Clemson game, they really weren't even in a close contest. And it's a lot of it has to do with that big defense. So Jordan Davis, again, with another award. Guys, as you hang out with us tonight, like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. I see that there's 700 of you guys, and we are so appreciative to have all of you here. So just give us a thumbs up and subscribe, hit the bell, and we will be covering this Crimson Tide team all the way into the college football playoff and beyond, including National Signing Day, which is coming up next week. And we will have a signing day extravaganza, Kyle.
Yeah, we will. We will be. We won't be in turtlenecks, but we are looking forward to covering signing day. So definitely hit the subscribe button. Saban's putting together a fantastic class. Surprise, shocker. I want to see what happens with Damani Jackson, to be honest. And Bone brought up a great point. I'm sure you guys saw the video. A lot of people feeling that Damani Jackson kind of already wrapped up by Lincoln Riley, but a lot of people felt that Georgia was going to beat Alabama just recently. So I think, kind of let the dust settle, let Nick Saban do his thing. And I think it was very important to get Ty Simpson on board. Ty Simpson, from a quarterback standpoint, is a quarterback that has a lot of talent coming in. And I think that he's going to impress a lot of people. If you haven't seen Ty Simpson's highlights, definitely go check it out. His dad is actually the head football coach at E.T. Martin. So that's pretty cool. That tells you the IQ that he has. Can you imagine like Ty Simpson, his dad at the dinner table? I'm sure that, their mom, even they're probably breaking down schemes and whatnot. So yeah. And I think someone inside the comment box happy about Ty Simpson as well.
Going to be a lot of fun to see what he does. What do you think about the quarterback situation for Alabama? Ty Simpson coming in, obviously Bryce Young with another year. The guys that are already here that aren't playing. I mean, and I know a lot can change between now and the end of next season.
This is going to get weird. I think Jalen Milroe may be kind of left out in this situation, to be honest. I think he's going to get his chance, but it may not be for as long as the other two. I think Bryce obviously is going to be the starter next year after he hopefully takes home the Heisman Trophy on Saturday and, maybe gets Alabama national title number 19 now. But, and then Ty Simpson's coming in and it kind of just bookends him in the wrong spot there. I don't think that Jalen Milroe is necessarily a quarterback for the rest of his career at Alabama. Maybe we see him at running back sometimes to try to work Ty Simpson in, or, maybe it's a mix and match, kind of like we saw at Florida this year. For Bama fans, they're hoping maybe it's going to be a little bit more successful if that's the case. But, I think Jalen Milroe kind of gets left out here.
This is highlights of Ty Simpson working with Bill O'Brien. This was from the summertime, but as you can see, he has really good lateral movement, throws a really good ball. And these are from his junior season highlights. He was just named the Gatorade Player of the Year, I believe, in the state of Tennessee for his particular class. Plays at a smaller school, but just watch these highlights. You can see that he can really extend plays and get the ball downfield. And I think that that's kind of what Alabama's offense really wants, is somebody who can extend plays, who has a big arm, can step up, make the big throw over the middle of the field, and Ty Simpson coming in with a lot of experience and a good, like I think Skip is saying, it's a quick release. Watch this play right here. And of course, we'll have a lot more highlights coming up, but this was from his junior year, so you can only imagine how he's improved in his game. But I think this is a play. No, it's coming up here pretty soon. Ty Simpson, certainly a baller.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about it today. Andrew Bone and I a little bit earlier. He's playing against, smaller schools like this, but it's not to say that he's not still talented. Look at his throwing motion, how quickly he gets the ball out, and just how powerful that arm is. I kind of like to compare it to Zion Williamson, honestly, because Zion, he was booming on dudes that didn't look quite his size or, maybe his skill level at the time, but you could still tell, hey, this kid's got it. He's going to play professionally one day. I feel the same way about Ty Simpson. And just look at the footwork there. I mean, everything about him is very quick. And I think that's going to be key for this offense, because that's kind of the style for this Alabama team these last 2 years. Get the ball out, work it around the field. I think he's going to be a perfect quarterback, for this future. And, a lot of people coming to Jalen Milroe's side here. I'm with you. I think Jalen Milroe is going to find his chance. It just may be in a little bit different of a role than we expect.
Well, Alabama's certainly down on running backs right now. And the fact that Milroe has Jamison Williams type speed, I mean, if they're going back and forth over who's the fastest, it may be something that Alabama's able to work into the game plan the next two games. I mean, you're playing for the national championship. So, it's going to be interesting to kind of see how everything transpires. But National Signing Day, Kyle, is Alabama going to have the number one class?
Yeah, I mean, and even if they don't, they'll be the number one, like talent-wise. And Saban, look, and I know we're like so focused in on signing day, but I really think that the transfer portal is another area that you have to win. You have to go out there and fill positions of guys that can play now, that can be impact players now, that can be starters now. You look how Alabama has utilized the transfer portal. And a lot of these guys that have entered the transfer portal, it might be because they were processed, so to speak, right? They couldn't play at Alabama. They couldn't stick it out at Alabama. I wish that we could have seen Killen Robinson still here, Jerome Ford. I felt that those guys were going to contribute at some point, but look, they took off, they left, they did what's best for themselves. Didn't see a lot of Killen Robinson this season. Tough to get on the field over at Texas right now. And then Jerome Ford, we're going to get an opportunity to see him play at Cincinnati. He's been having a great season. And I mean, he's a running back who probably gets 23, 24 carries at Cincinnati. Very talented running back. I think he'd probably be right behind Brian Robinson right now here at Alabama.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. Getting a question in about Arch Manning in here I'm seeing. And this is another player we talked about today. Arch doesn't talk a lot. He's not really, made a preference one way or another. He made a visit to Clemson. Obviously, Tennessee, Ole Miss are going to be in the mix there. And Georgia, another big one. But Alabama's right there with him. He loves Tuscaloosa. He's made a few visits. And, I think at this point, it's still just wide open. Certainly a chance.
Yeah, he's certainly the biggest name that is coming out right now as far as future players go because, because of his uncles, right? I mean, when Peyton and Eli are, your uncles and your dad, your grandfather was Arch Manning, Archie Manning. I mean, that's a pretty impressive bloodline there. And he's also put up some amazing numbers at his high school. Going to be interesting to kind of see how that one goes down. And Andrew Bone told me that that Ty Simpson's actually trying to recruit him to Alabama. So that gives you an idea of how things are in Tuscaloosa. A lot of these quarterbacks expect to play and then be gone, and the next guy takes over.
Yeah, I have. I'm going to load real quick. So go follow Jamison Williams on Instagram, okay? He just posted the most hilarious. He's been posting memes about kind of, so there you go. Bailey's on it right here. She was the one that informed me. So I'm going to relay. So this is what Jameson Williams just posted on his social media. Let's see if I can get it to you. This is hilarious. Go ahead and read that super chat out, man.
Pull that up.
This is what Jameson Williams.
J-Rob, thank you, brother. I appreciate it so much, man. We love the super chat. My bad. I heard he said wrong. IG. I was hoping the past video game numbers. Oh yeah, that's the stats. And talking about Bryce Young and winning the Heisman and the Natty. I think it's coming.
Yeah, this is Jamison Williams just posted that. Hey, J-Rob, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate the super chat, all super chats, all the thumbs up, everything that you guys added to the channel. Thank you so much. But this is Jameson Williams, and he just posted this a few minutes ago, which is hilarious.
I love the one after that he posted. It's the video of Nick Saban. I can't remember which game it was last year, but the one where he got all confused at the reporter and had to dip off screen there for a second. Just hilarious stuff.
Yeah, Jameson Williams is crazy. He should have won the award.
Yeah.
So where are we at? So we got Nakobe Dean up here. Looks like he won an award. Jordan Davis has won 2 awards. William Anderson has not won an award. Jameson Williams did not win an award. And we have Bryce Young, who won the Davey O'Brien Award. So back-to-back for that because Mac Jones won it last year. And then Bryce Young won it this year. So the last award that we are waiting for is the Maxwell Award. And we have showed you this beautiful trophy. And we are waiting for that, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. So that's the last award that we are waiting for. It's kind of like the grand finale is the Maxwell Award, and you got to think that Bryce is a slam dunk to win this.
Yeah, let me go back to the super chat and the question: if Bryce wins the Heisman and the Natty, what's he going to do next year? I guess what's next, right? I mean, he's got to come back to college, right?
Yeah. But what's next is major NIL deals. Remember at the beginning of the year when Nick Saban said that he's close to $1 million in NIL deals? Those people spent right because
Milo's.
Think about it. I know it was Cash App. He did a couple other things, but man, you look at now the NIL deals that are going to come to Bryce Young. He's going to be. I mean, think about this. How crazy is this? Bill O'Brien, I think, is making 1.3 as the offensive coordinator here. I mean, Bryce Young's making $1 million in NIL deals. That's more than Freddie Roach, the defensive line coach. That's more than Charles Kelly, the safeties coach. He's like third on the payroll. So you have Nick Saban. I think Pete Golding's up to like 1.9, and then you have Bill O'Brien, and then you have Bryce Young.
And this is how it should be, right? I mean, how many times did, and it's no disrespect to any of the coaches or anything else, but, how many times did Freddie Roach go out there and throw a touchdown pass with time expiring and anything else? I mean, Bryce Young has earned every dime of what he's gotten in these NIL deals. And I think you're right, Kyle. After this season, it's going to be to the moon. I think the early investors were probably excited about getting him going into this season because there were still those doubts. And, that could have looked like a bad investment looking back on it. Best investment they could have made. I'm with Skip 07 UA. Got back-to-back Heismans and a money bag as well there. Bryce has earned it.
Guys, like and subscribe as you hang out with us. Hit the thumbs up. It's been a lot of fun tonight. This is our award show watch party on Bama Insider. Kyle Henderson, Trey Yanity, you got Chris Daughtry behind the scenes. I'm Mick Gillespie. All of us appreciate you guys so much. All the super chats, all the laughs tonight. I didn't anticipate us cracking up like we have, but it's been a lot of fun. We're still waiting on the Maxwell Award and who's going to be the player of the year on tonight's award show. I think we all feel like it's going to be Bryce Young.
Yeah, I think this one, I think this one's a lock. And maybe this is your consolation trophy of college football. And honestly, I think Kenneth Walker, maybe deserves a little bit more hype. And this award could be a really cool way to celebrate the season that he had because he had an incredible season as well. And, I think Bryce Young's probably going to win that trophy on Saturday. So what's the Maxwell Award? But no, I think this one's locked up as well. He has the best numbers. He's looked the most impressive. He's played the hardest schedule too. I mean, it's not to take away from, what Michigan State's done, but like you said, Kenneth Walker didn't really get to play Ohio State like that. And, the other big games, he looked pretty good, but Bryce Young came out consistently every week in the SEC. When dominated the SEC championship, this is his award to lose here.
One thing that I look at within this schedule, they played on the road at Florida, the Swamp, very difficult, right? They played on the road, Kyle Field, and they played on the road at Jordan Hare, and they played on the road in the SEC championship against Georgia. I mean, and everybody knows how far Athens is from Georgia. What is it, like 40 minutes? And that's why Kirby Smart after the game was like, thanks to our fans for coming out. And, I tremendously respect Kirby Smart and the job he's done. But, I mean, why wouldn't they be there? That's like Tuscaloosa to Birmingham. Right? I mean, like, I wasn't shocked by that. So, really, Alabama, and from what Tony said, Tony was at the game. So were you, Trey? What was the percentage of fans? Was it like,
oh my goodness. It was, I mean, I heard 60-40 was the TV metric. I stood in the end zone for most of the game. It had to be 70-30, and that might be generous to Alabama. And just the noise factor. I mean, it felt like it was a Georgia home game, and it's not, it's credit to their fan base. They're hungry. They wanted that win. They thought this was the golden opportunity. This is the down year for Alabama. Everybody, kind of had that mindset going into the game. I think that, having a positive outlook, being confident is important. But, I think the Dogs really thought they were going to win that game handily. Now that they haven't, this college football season's been turned on its head yet again. But, that was their chance. It really was like a home game for Georgia.
Unbelievable. Still just, I've been on cloud nine all week. I mean, look, it was still one of the most amazing SEC championship game finales I've ever seen. Just because I still think Georgia's the team to beat. And I think Alabama's going to have to play another great game to beat Georgia. But it can be done. I mean, we saw that. But, I mean, if Alabama beats Georgia, just say they match up again and Alabama beats them again. What are the long-term ramifications to Georgia's program?
It's big, and on the flip side of that coin, if Georgia wins that game, we kind of forget about this SEC title as a country. Obviously, as Alabama fans, it was a big win for your team. And, this was something to get really excited about. But overall, if Georgia wins the title game, that's the one they really want. And that's the one that's going to mean a lot more. So for Georgia fans and, for Georgia, I don't think that game was the end of the world as everybody, as much as everybody wanted to act like it. I think sometimes with this season, we get a little bit too intense with our narratives. We wanted to make Georgia out to be the far and away greatest program in the history of college football, greatest defense of the decade, this, that, whatever. But, that team played Kentucky when they're number 11. Kentucky didn't finish ranked. They beat Arkansas when they were in the top 10. Well, how did Arkansas' season turn out? When did you see them really flex the muscle against a quality opponent? Well, they played a quality opponent in Alabama, and they lost that game. On the other side of that, we can't act like just because Alabama won the game 41-24, they're going to run away with the national title. And there's, it's not going to be a battle against Georgia the second time around, if that's the game. But, I think that everybody just needs to take a breath. Anybody could win this thing. Alabama proved that they deserve to be there. And, they didn't deserve some of the flack that they had gotten throughout the season. And, maybe Georgia's defense was overrated, but there's a lot of football to be played. I think this is anybody's.
Holy cow! This sorry to interrupt, Mick, but this show goes until 8 p.m. What the hell are we going to talk about?
We're switching into championship football coverage right now. I was just about to start talking about the Alabama Cincinnati game.
Holtz is being beamed in from wherever he's at. And then I looked on the show because I'm trying to watch that Pittsburgh Steelers game. And I'm sure everyone else is too. I mean, we've been on for an hour, 20 minutes. And we can't tell you who the Maxwell Award winner is. Trust me. If it was up to me, I'd tell you all the awards beforehand, and then you could watch them, and then you could get out of there. I don't make the rules. So I guess we're on here for a little while. Post your questions inside the comment box, whether it's about the team, if it's about turtlenecks, if it's about whatever you want. And we'll get some questions after while we try to sail through to our next 30 some big bug is like 30 minutes of Lou Holt is next.
Free family in football. Remember when he was on ESPN and he was just be in a bad mood? They used to have like that post show with him and Mark the guy, I forget the guy's last name.
It's from Double Dare. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you know what I mean, though. And Lou Holtz would get mad, and then they had to cut him out.
look, Trey just bounced. He hit the eject button.
Did you see that? That was funny because I saw him just kind of run off of the screen. He just like ducked and got out of there. He's at home right now. I wonder if like
Mark Mays.
Mark Mays. That's it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Mark May. Yeah, it was Mark May. Whatever happened to Mark May?
I don't know. Let's find out in the comment box. That's our question. Quick research. Where is Mark May today in 2021? And they got Lou Holtz up. And look, I mean, there's a lot of people that grew up watching Notre Dame football, right? I mean, that's just how it was. I mean, we watched NBC on Saturdays, and now that was the game that you got. Same with the Atlanta Braves, and same with the Chicago Cubs. When I grew up, I watched the Cubs and I watched the Braves because they were on TV. TBS was your Braves, affiliate, and then you had WGN, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those were the teams, and that's kind of who you grow up with. We're still waiting on the Maxwell Award, so whenever they get to that, we'll get some context up. I might be the next to take a break, and then you can take a break, Nick.
You got to wait for Trey to come running back on screen again. The funniest thing is that before he pulled himself off screen, I just saw him duck his head like he was a fullback running through the line.
He had it.
Oh man! So let's get into Alabama and Cincinnati.
You could tell like a lot of people just bailed out on the show when I told there's 40 minutes left, and I don't blame you. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God, I'm out of here. I got stuff to do." Hey, I don't blame you. If you guys have stuff to do, take off. I mean, this is we'll be back on Saturday too. We got another show on Saturday, which is the Heisman show. So we'll be back with more coverage on that. Odd pause.
Yeah, no, I'm just reading that Mark May was a great analyst. The people, you guys in the comment section know all the answers to everything. Like Kyle, you're kind of right. You throw it out there.
You can't stump. Remember that show?
Hey, look who's back.
All right.
What's up, guys? I was looking for my turtleneck. I couldn't find it, but valiant effort.
I'll be back in a sec.
Oh man, yeah, this is an interesting show. I love how ESPN has found a way to extend all the college football coverage. It's always fun this time of year, but this has been an interesting night. I think Jameson Williams' Instagram story, the more I look at it now, kind of speaks for all the Alabama players tonight. Just not just him missing out on the Biletnikoff. I think it goes for Will Anderson there too. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who all do you believe should have gotten the award so far tonight? Because obviously some snubs to this point. Who do you think's the biggest snub to this point, Mick?
Look, I think that Jordan Davis was perceived as the best defensive player in the country before the SEC championship game, and rightly so. I mean, he's had such a big year, right? But he's picked up a lot of the hardware. Will Anderson Jr. overlooked, and I think part of that is that people heard about him, and then when they saw him in that Georgia game, they realized, hey, this guy's really good. And then when you compare his stats to everyone else involved, they're not even close. Yeah, I mean, what the guy's been able to accomplish is amazing. And look, he'll probably, if he has another season like he did this year, or even if it's statistically even not as good but close, he's going to win all these awards next year. I think there's a lot of people out there right now going, yeah, we probably missed this one. Yeah, and that's tough. That's kind of part of it.
It is, and Skip 07 UA makes another great point here. I mean, this could be the best thing in the world for Alabama. Look what they did with the yummy rat poison against Georgia. They ate it up, and I think that this, I think that this could be the yummy rat poison they need for. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be maybe that daunting task, obviously, but this could be what they need to get them through the college football playoff as a whole. Could be a good thing. I don't know. This is it's been fun to watch, and I'm getting some JMO in the comments here. I think they both equally got snubbed in this one. JMO I thought was a lock for the Biletnikoff after Saturday. Obviously not, and Will's efforts throughout the season have just been dominant, but. This is just how it goes. Bama fatigue. It's a real thing.
Yeah, look, it is. Guys, as you hang out with us tonight, like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up as you hang out and we talk Alabama and the awards ceremony. We'll do the same thing. We'll have a watch party for the Heisman on Saturday night. But like and subscribe, all of you guys that have hammered the super chats, man, we appreciate that so much as well too. I mean, it really does go a long way, and tonight has been spectacularly good. So thank you so much. But like and subscribe, hit the bell, and and we appreciate you being part of what we're doing. It started out good. Bryce Young won the O'Brien Award, and we expected Alabama to win a lot more awards tonight just because they've got some big time impact players that are deserving. But unfortunately, Trey, for Alabama, it's kind of been stuck right there.
Yeah, this has been the opposite, honestly, of what I expected to this point. Because you look at I think 2018 was the year Tua probably should have won the Heisman. He didn't. He won the Davey O'Brien. And, Kyler Murray won the Heisman that year. I thought we would see one of these other quarterbacks maybe win the Davey OB, like CJ Stroud. You have Bryce go on to win the Heisman. And for the rest of the awards, I thought Alabama, would get credit where it's due. Biletnikoff, I thought was a lock. And, for the Veneric Award, I get Jordan Davis, the hype, everything else, but Will Anderson really did have the better season this year. This has been an interesting night overall as I see Utah gets the student section of the year. So out there, but just a different kind of night so far. And the Lou Graza coming up was one that Alabama got the biggest snub on last year. Will Reichert, this is the kicking award. He should have won that one. So far this year, there's a few spots where Bama should have taken it home. And I'm with Wayne Hope right here. Tua definitely deserved that Heisman in 2018, but hey, that's where they took the rat poison into Oklahoma, where you got to play Kyler. Bama got the win, so this maybe is a similar tale here for the rest of these guys tonight.
Well, look, I love the idea of Will Anderson being a little bit hungry and having something to show, to prove when that football is kicked off next time for Alabama when they take on Cincinnati. Look, Kyle's back. Got you. Is that a cold beer there, Kyle?
It's not cold anymore. This show's been almost 2 hours. I need one of those Yeti wraps. So some of the chats for a Yeti wrap. Man, almost 2 hours talking about an award that should be wrapped up. That should have been the first award that was off the board, was the Maxwell. Look at the stats.
Yeah.
That's
this is
themselves.
It's been dominant. And, I hope Kenny Pickett, I'm sure he's getting the respect, obviously, in Pittsburgh and with the ACC awards as well, because he had a brilliant season. But Kenneth Walker and Bryce Young, those are the two you need to look at here. And I think Kenneth Walker has a great case for this award. He had a dominant season. He was the best player on his team. Same with Bryce Young, of course. I don't think there's a lot of consolation in awards night, but this could be one of them. I hope Bryce Young wins this award just to make up for everything else tonight, but I could see Kenneth Walker taking this home too.
Guys, as you hang out with us, like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and again, we're waiting on the Maxwell Award, and and just kind of keeping an eye on what's going on right now with the award ceremony on ESPN and talking Alabama football. Which this has turned out to be another championship season for the Crimson Tide. And, a lot of us didn't see that as a possibility after the struggles against LSU, Arkansas, and then at Auburn. But Bama played their best game against Georgia. They go into their Cotton Bowl appearance against Cincinnati as a 13.5-point favorite. Cincinnati playing for respect and a chance to knock off the mighty Crimson Tide, and Alabama trying to get back to the national championship game and repeat as champs, which Nick Saban has done before. And I'll tell you, if they win this year, look out next year.
Yeah, and I keep saying this every time you talk about the talent coming back, is the schedule. The schedule is just – have you guys checked out the schedule for next year for those first 4 games?
It's fun. It's different. I like the opportunity to go to Texas for this team. I think it's going to be, fun to see Steve Sarkisian versus Nick Saban in that game. But, like Jarvis is saying, at points, this is not the most difficult schedule. Well, I want to know what you guys think.
Not the most difficult. They could sleepwalk through it.
I thought that about this year, though. That was my take on this schedule. And, there's some surprises in there. The SC West is getting sneaky. And I think that the order of the games means so much. Starting out with Texas early on could be a test, but it's Alabama. I think they're going to do all right.
I'm gonna show you guys the schedule. You guys are going.
There it is.
Oh, did someone get the schedule?
I see it up there. Yep, Utah State.
Can you zoom in on that, Chris, please? All right. So the juggernaut comes into town. Utah State to kick things off. Alabama favored by what? 45? Maybe
Utah State wasn't bad this year.
You're right. Okay, so let's say 28 and a half.
I'm going to say 33.
Okay. Then we go to Texas, right? Texas, I mean, they're in the college football playoffs, right? Oh no, wait, they ended the season 5-7. Okay, so you got Texas at going over there. I think that's exciting. I mean, Austin, great place. So we'll see how that goes out. And then look at the Warhawks. That should be exciting. Then Vanderbilt, right? I mean, get up for that one.
How about Vanderbilt being the only team that didn't go to a bowl this year?
And I mean, a close one with UConn. That's really the only low point.
No, but think about it. The entire SEC.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, where's the investment at?
Baseball.
Yeah. I think that game against Texas, someone brought it up in the comment box. I think Alabama, like Nick Saban will use this opportunity going into Texas as a recruiting stamp and be like, look, because he's dominated Texas, right? He's landed some premier prospects from Texas, Georgia, Florida. I mean, those are the states that you have to, right? That goes with what you said. But I think going into Texas, he's going to use it as such, like a come watch us play against Texas, which is supposed to be every single year the premier program out of Texas. And every single year, it's just like they underachieve more and more and more. Remember at the beginning of the season, people were calling for Steve Sarkisian to be the governor. I'm serious. I saw like a former player was like Steve Sarkisian for governor, and then at the end of the year, they're just like, man, this dude might be on the chopping block. I don't think that's gonna happen. The whole monkey shenanigan with Jeff Banks, that's when things got crazy. When the monkey, when Jeff Banks' girlfriend, the pole assassin, right? When the monkey bit a kid who went to their house for a Halloween party. Did you see that? Like that?
Yeah,
he didn't make that up. Like that happened.
They're getting sued. They're getting sued for it. Like, and I don't know it. For those of you that have pet monkeys out there, just know that us that have kids, you got to keep your monkey on a leash.
I saw a video. Chris, our producer tonight, he found a very good video. The pole assassin actually took a video going through her house. There were some safety measures in place. I mean, I don't know. I think they need some credit here. It was a big story, obviously, not the greatest headlines in the world, but they had the measures there for the monkey to stay in his cage. I don't know about this one.
So so are you like, if you were on a jury tray, like it sounds like you wouldn't say that he was guilty.
With the evidence that I've been presented, I'm acquitting the Banks assassin family in this one. I think they're clean.
All right.
Did the kid stick his hand inside the monkey's container, or was it out? Could the monkey have been out running around?
That's the story. No, the kid penetrated the container there with the monkey. I guess it was a cage of some form, but and there was a fence too. So this one's going to be on the family, in my opinion. But hopefully they can turn it around. I think Texas, you look at their season, their record obviously wasn't very good, and they lost to Kansas and blew it against Oklahoma, in the rivalry game there. But some really talented pieces on this team. Bijan Robinson, one of the best running backs in the country. Yeah. Another guy, Keelan Robinson, used to be at Alabama. He had a great season as well. Casey Thompson, a very solid quarterback. I really like this Texas team throughout the season, and they're going to keep some of those pieces around. This game could be interesting. Jarvis talking about Ewers, potentially transferring to Texas. That could change things as well. I think this could be a good test, and it's a classic blue blood game. I love starting the season with a matchup like this.
I was there the last time they played in Pasadena for the national championship game. Still one of the highlights of my fandom. I mean, just going there, being part of that, seeing the stadium and just everything that was part of it. It's a hallowed ground in Pasadena, but the Texas fans were there and the Alabama fans were there, and we were a lot alike. I was surprised, but the outcome went to the Tide, and their program has gone south, and Alabama's has gone north ever since.
Yeah, I mean, you look to next year too. I mean, I think they're going to have a tough time with Alabama. And I was kind of curious what you guys think on this one in terms of transfers. I mean, where do you think Spencer Rattler ends up? That's going to be an interesting one because I mean, he's going to have plenty of places to land. Potentially. I was just kind of, Oklahoma. They're joining the SEC, and then the backup quarterback, clearly a baller. But Spencer Rattler, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I was ever really impressed with Rattler. Maybe we didn't get enough opportunities to see him. I don't know. Oklahoma, he wasn't good enough for Oklahoma.
We're terrible.
Yeah, right. Wayne is saying to Oregon.
Yeah, I could see Oregon and Jarvis with UCLA there as well. I could see a West Coast school as a really good fit for Spencer Rattler, somewhere in the Big 12. I mean, the Pac-12 rather, where they can throw the ball a little bit more, and he can kind of just come into his own there. I don't think Oklahoma was a good fit for Spencer Rattler, and he was obviously couldn't handle the hype either. He was the Heisman favorite coming into this season, and he seems like he was kind of mental at times this year. So, go out west, reset. Maybe a new coaching staff could be the right fit at Oregon if he decides to go there. But and I like Ole Miss. Some of these kind of mid-range schools in the Power Five. I could even see like a Duke or a school in the ACC that hasn't had as much success recently, where he can kind of go in and build a foundation there. So we'll see. But I don't see an Oklahoma or maybe another blue blood like that.
What about Auburn? I think Bo Nix might transfer. Hearing some smoke from down there that maybe he goes. Tank Bigsby's in the transfer portal. I'd love to see old Tank in an Alabama uniform. That'd be so funny to me. But yeah, I mean, what if he came closer? What about the SEC? I know he's not going to USC.
Why did Tank Bigsby enter the transfer portal? I don't know. Like, I don't really follow. Like, I mean, I didn't follow that too closely. I mean, he got a ton of carries. I mean, what am I missing here? He's just not want to be around Auburn or the coach or something like that?
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know, but Auburn's recruiting isn't going too well.
Cal once saying Bo Nix to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And Wayne is saying Tank saved us. Yeah, when he ran out of bounds, I mean, geez, that was kind of what buoyed the whole, opportunity for Alabama. So Bo Nix to Jack State, Tank should go to Alabama, Kiffin and Rattler to Oregon.
Package deal.
He played for Rich Rod.
You think Kiffin? How long does Kiffin stay at Ole Miss?
I think Kiffin would have bounced if the jobs would have been offered to him. But I think that he's a great coach. But I think that some of the athletic directors and school presidents are a little worried about some of the off the field stuff with him.
Yeah,
but he's had a great year.
So check this out. This is just in. The Maxwell Award is out, and it is. I'm sorry. Let's see. So Michigan State running back Kenneth Walker named the Walker Camp Player of the Year award over Alabama quarterback Bryce Young.
Now, how about that?
Wow. Yeah.
Kind of a shocker right there.
Yeah.
But he had a good year. Look, he was. I think he was the nation's best running back. Michigan State at one point was a team that was in the college football playoff, top four. They ran into a buzzsaw with Ohio State, and and they just took him out of the game plan. But all in all, I think there's a lot of NFL teams that are probably licking their chops to have him. And I think the other part of this is that, look, people are sick of Alabama winning everything.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, I think, Kenneth Walker is very deserving of this award. Bryce Young as well. But, this was one that just didn't fall Alabama's way again. Devontae Smith was the winner last year. So, maybe the committee as a whole is thinking, let's just clean house. Let's reset. Alabama's going to maybe go win the national title and the Heisman and everything else. So we'll spread out the love a little bit here Kenneth Walker is certainly deserving of this one. I felt a lot more strong about the snubs on the Blitnikoff and the Veneric as well. So this one, not too much of a shocker. And like you said, Kenneth Walker is going to be in the NFL, making a lot of money, probably starting right away. So good for him. This is a well earned award here. But I guess another Alabama snub at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by that. Guys, like and subscribe as you hang out with us here on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. I think that part of this, too, is if you voted before the Iron Bowl, you might not have seen it the way that everyone clearly sees it now. Or could this possibly be the beginning of an upset for the Heisman?
I don't see that. I think that I think that award is different, and it's a completely separate group. I think Bryce has just done too much, and I think some of this, because some of these voters do cross over. Maybe this is the voters just kind of saying, pump the brakes, wait a little bit. He's going to get the one that really matters. Just wait till Saturday. But I think that award going to the most prestigious player, the best player in the country, Bryce has done more than enough. I think he's going to win that one. He already has the Davey O'Brien tonight as well, so that could be a telling sign there too. But I just think that award has so many different voters, so many different minds, and is a little bit more objective. I think Bryce Young brings that one home.
Kyle?
They just said Luke Fickell won the Home Depot Coach of the Year award, going undefeated.
Hey, look, what he's been able to accomplish at Cincinnati, and we're going to know a lot about the Bearcats by the time Alabama and Cincinnati kick off in the Cotton Bowl, really has been unprecedented. I mean, their success has even led them to the Big 12. Don't forget, they're going to be in the Big 12 here soon, too. But who would have ever thought that the first team to get into the college football playoff from a non-Power 5 conference would be Cincinnati? Just looking at the over the years, the long haul here. I was shocked that Notre Dame did not hire him and go out and pay him whatever he wanted to be their head coach. But maybe he's really in long-term for Cincinnati. Forget about them playing Alabama and just look at their body of work over the last 4 seasons. They have been a very tough team to beat.
They have. And this is Cincinnati's bid to the playoff, but Cincinnati would not be here right now without UCF, without SMU, without Boise State, without Houston, without a lot of these programs that paved the way for this conversation to even be realistic. And, Luke Fickell said something on Sunday during the press conference after they found out about the bowl game that I thought was important for him to say. They're not really carrying the flag for the rest of the Power 5 when they're doing this. This is Cincinnati. They're a deserving program. They're not thinking about Group of 5, Power 5. Whatever the case may be, they're going to go out and try to win a football game just like Alabama. I thought that was a good thing to say. But, overall, you take a zoom out, and Cincinnati certainly not here without the UCFs of the world, the Boise States making this possible. And, credit to them for being the first one to go all the way and make the playoff.
Yeah, Mr. Ohio and Luke Fickell, the Home Depot Coach of the Year. Did Nick Saban won that last year, right?
The Home Depot, I don't know if he won that last year. I know he finally won the Bear Bryant Coach of the
Okay, yeah.
That was the first time since he won that he won the award, if you can believe that, which was crazy. Because isn't that that's like supposed to go to him. I'm looking right here at Cincinnati's stats as well. You kind of just see if I can pull it up through here.
Man, Nick Saban has won that award before, but back in 2008, he was Home Depot.
Yeah. So here's Luke Fickell at Cincinnati.
Look at that.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great, great job. I mean, they lost in the Peach. What was that, last year?
Yeah, and a great game too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You kind of, moving on up from the military to Birmingham, Peach, Cotton. Now against Alabama, and you kind of look at the coach overall. I thought it was an interesting point too, Trey, on the press conference when someone brought it up that he was on the staff. There, sorry. He was on the staff that beat Alabama in the playoff game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
I was there at that one.
So that had to be. So that was when he was the co-DC and linebacker coach, right? 2012, 2016.
Yep. I believe the 2014 season.
Yeah, so he knows what it is or what it takes to beat Alabama. It's going to take a lot for the Cincinnati team to beat Alabama, but he's been there before, and these guys I think they're playing with a little bit of chip on their shoulder, and they should. I mean, they are the underdog. Alabama was the underdog, and now they're going to get the positive rat poison. But yeah, Cincinnati, we'll see what they can do, but I think Alabama probably gives it to them pretty good. Kobe Bryant has won the Jim Thorpe Award. He is Cincinnati, right? So you talk about their secondary. They should be, Nick Saban said that they had a really good secondary.
Yeah, very solid. And, I thought it was funny, too. He got on there and said, because somebody asked right away about the schemes and everything else, said, you guys think we don't sleep? We just had our game last night. We're going to take some time and really evaluate this team. And, Alabama's taking this game incredibly seriously, just as serious if it's, if it was Georgia again in this round, because, Cincinnati is very talented and this is the playoff, win or go home. So, they're not taking this lightly. They're going to study the film just as hard. They're going to get prepared for this game. Obviously, a lot more time to do so. And, Cincinnati, this is their chance. This is a big deal, maybe for the group of five as a whole. If Cincinnati doesn't win this game, that could be the end of a group of five team making the college football playoff when it's 4-team playoff for, a little bit here, if it's a blowout loss, perhaps. But, this is a fun game. This is interesting. And it's fun that Alabama gets to be the opponent for the first group of five school to make the college football playoff. It's just going to be different. It's going to be, really interesting to watch. And credit to Luke Fickell and this squad. This is a deserving team of any of these group of five schools we've seen in the past. This might be the best one.
Always great talking to you guys here on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Thanks for being here tonight. Don't forget, Saturday, the Heisman Trophy ceremony. We'll be back. We'll watch and see if Bryce Young can make it 2 straight for the Crimson Tide. Oklahoma pulled off defeat not too long ago, and Alabama's going to try to follow up with Devontae Smith and Bryce Young. At least Bryce Young, the overwhelming favorite to do that. Like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the bell. Be a part of our shows and our channel. And we appreciate you guys so much. So Kenneth Walker, big upset win tonight. And we still have some more, right? There's still some more awards that are going down now.
Yeah, I guess so. We're waiting for this Maxwell Award. It's like we're waiting for the Great Pumpkin. It's taking us almost 2 hours to get there. It's like it's got to come at some point. And I'm going to be really upset if we've gone this whole journey and Bryce Young doesn't win this award. But you got to think he does. He was a minus 5,000 to win the Heisman. He's the AP top player of the year today, and then he was a Davey O'Brien winner. So yeah, I think Bryce Young ends the night with a W. What about you guys?
Yeah, we could talk about it over and over again about his season and his stats and everything else, but the awards coming now is just the example of the season that he had. And I think that if he doesn't win this award tonight, okay, you move forward. You have the Davey OB, the AP Player of the Year, like you said, and probably the Heisman too. But Bryce Young doesn't care about this at all. I think that's the funniest thing about these awards. We get so hyped up about it, and we talk so much about it, and project all of this and think about it for weeks in advance. When at the end of the day, Will Anderson's probably a little ticked off that the country thought this player was better than he was, this, that, whatever. But he's not losing sleep over this. Bryce Young could go out and get 0 Heisman votes. He doesn't really care. He just wants to go win the national title, continue to perform at a high level, continue to be prepared. That's what Alabama is all about. So, Alabama didn't get the clean sweep tonight like we thought they could, or, they didn't win the Blitnikoff, or they didn't win the Veneric Award, or, some of these bigger ones here. But at the end of the day, it's just not Alabama's profile to really get too upset about that. So, credit to the rest of the guys that are finalists for this Maxwell Award. I think Bryce Young is going to be your winner, but either way, I think Bryce Young's going to be just fine. And I think he's going to be incredibly confident on Saturday night when he gets to New York, because that trophy is going to be his, if nothing else.
And he also cares about Logan Steakhouse. If you follow him on Instagram, I think he's got to deal with them. And he's always posting that he's at Logan Steakhouse. Do they have 2 locations here, Trey, or just one?
I think just one in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, my sister used to work there. when she was in college at Alabama.
I need to check it out. I haven't been to a Logan Steakhouse in a while, but Bryce is always, posting that he's, throwing down a steak over there. So yeah, I'll go check it out for sure. Logan Steakhouse. That's all about Bryce is all in. Another one. Have you seen that creepy Subway commercial with Trevor Lawrence?
Yes, I hate that one.
Oh man, that like it kind of makes you feel uncomfortable, huh? It's kind of, I don't know. I don't really understand that one.
It's like the time that they did the study of the tuna fish and found out there was no tuna in the tuna fish at Subway, and then they had commercials. I don't know. Maybe it was Shaq. Somebody was like saying, they brought in Shaq to try to help convince everybody that there was real tuna in the tuna fish at Subway.
Somebody, I guess, measured a sandwich a few years ago and won a lawsuit because it wasn't exactly a foot long. It was like 11.50 inches or something like that. Pettiness.
That's awesome. Yeah, it'd be like, this isn't 12 inches, and they measured it. That's
unbelievable.
Oh yeah, you could really get them on the 6 inchers though, because I've seen them cut the bread, and there's always a short end of the 6 inchers. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. At least the 12 inches, like, factory made, at least. I mean,
Crimson Tide says, I miss Guthrie's. No, Guthrie's is, that's the original chicken strip. And you go in there and there's like one thing to order. There's like, you could have it this size or you could have a bigger size, and that's it. That's it. You just kind of walk on out. Guthrie's solid. Incredible sauce too. Yeah,
it's so ironic that you say that. When I was getting ready to go on air, my best friend from back home randomly asked me about Guthrie's, and I said, I guess the commercials must play on our site here or something. He said, I want to try the chicken and I want to try the special sauce. And I said, well, we have them in Fairhope. So if you come down here, we got Guthrie's, right? We could walk to it and we could go get the special sauce. Cause I said, it is fire. It is fire.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. How do you guys feel about the new Fusakli's in town? That's kind of become my favorite chicken place.
Haven't
been there.
But what's crazy is the line is insane. It's like that. Yes, they're like wrapped around. It must be all college kids. So it's basically just chicken strips tray and just like a variety that you can have. I definitely want to check it out for sure.
Yeah, and this isn't a plug or whatever either way, but it is a little upsetting. Their basic combo, the box, it doesn't include a drink. So, I suggest getting the bigger box if you go. That's Chris's go-to, but it's become the best. I think Zaxby's has always had a good tender, and Skip07 UA is saying Crow's Chicken over in Troy, Alabama is the go-to. I guess, getting to the close to the end of the show here, we got to talk about some chicken tenders.
Yeah, we're diving in. You know what? So crazy story about Bojangles. We used to go to.
So let me just get this laugh out because I want to write that down. The beginning of it is crazy story about Bojangles. I just love the way that sounds.
Champies, look, we're getting
spots. All right, sorry, Kyle. Keep going.
No, write these down, Chris, or Trey. What was the place in Troy? Write that one down. And
Crows.
We got Crows.
Right, Champies.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Champies is good. I've had it before. I love their chicken livers.
So, when we used to go to, we'd go to the basketball games here at Coleman Coliseum, you would get a media ticket, which would be good. So you get like your press pass, you walk in, you sign your name, and then they would give you a food voucher. And then you could take that food voucher to the concession stand, and you could get like Bojangles, or you could get like, I don't know, it was like a hot dog or a hamburger or something like that. So I would always go with Bojangles. And it's the first time that I had Bojangles because, I'm not from this area. So I had Bojangles. And so it was 6 chicken tenders, right? That's what it was good for. I can't explain why this happened. I must have got 18 chicken tenders in that box. And it was unbelievable. And I was seriously Tony was with me. Tony can vouch for the story. And here comes the Maxwell Award, by the way. Bojangles. And plus, outside of Bojangles, too, is Jesus Man here in Tuscaloosa. Like when you're going through Cottondale, you could like honk and he has that sign.
I've seen him before.
Oh yeah, you don't stop.
Hey, look, again, talking about guys that were famous in Tuscaloosa. If anybody in the comment section knows what happened to Magic Man, he was a guy that used to roam the streets of Tuscaloosa, and he could balance a bicycle or a bar stool on his face. He could put a cigarette out in his mouth and then spin it around and smoke it. And somebody out there knows the answer to that. Guys, like and subscribe as we get into a lot of great stuff on this channel. Give us a thumbs up. We're here for the Maxwell Award.
Yeah, we've arrived. Here we go.
Here we go.
Slides. We got Kenneth Walker. Well, the guys are on the screen. They've been on the screen for the last 30 minutes. So Pickett, Kenneth Walker, and Bryce Young. We're about to figure out what's going to go down. My mother's fried chicken or KFC original all day for me. KFC, I mean, hey, that's not bad. You know, that coleslaw, it hits a little different.
Yeah.
My great grandmother made fried chicken. Like, you couldn't beat it. Good fried chicken might be the best food ever when it's done right. I mean, when it's done right, you can't touch it.
You can't. No, it's undefeated. The internet is still undefeated. So here we go. Maxwell Award, and the winner is, drum roll. It's got to be Bryce. It's got to be Bryce. Are we gonna be shocked if it's not? Yeah.
I mean, look, if it's not Bryce Young, this is going to bleed over, and it's Bryce Young, right?
Back. Yeah, you got it. There he is.
Well, there he is. And, I mean, this has got to be a preview of what we're going to look at on Saturday. Bryce Young wins the Maxwell Award. He also won the O'Brien Award. Very deserving. An unbelievable season. Without him, Alabama would not be SEC champs. They would not be in the college football playoff. He's been a leader on and off the field, methodical, Mamba mentality, as Kyle would say, and another big moment for him.
Yes, this is a monster award for a sophomore. You look at everything that he's packaged together. I love the fact that 43 touchdowns on the season, but a recent clip of him playing, kind of explaining, kind of his overall mentality is I thought it was great, and kind of just explaining kind of the process of why he doesn't get rattled. I'm gonna try to find that. Trey, give your thoughts real quick while I look for this clip.
Yeah, this is so well deserved. I mean, Bryce Young has truly been the best player in the country throughout the season. We've seen him under duress in games where he's dominated all the way around. Bryce Young deserved this award. You can look past the stats. You can look at the context of these games or just the numbers in both categories. Bryce Young was deserving this award. The other two guys that were finalists were incredibly deserving as well. And I think, they're going to get their respective awards in their conferences and everything else. But, I think this is certainly a foreshadowing for Saturday. If you're an Alabama fan, you hope to see it. But as Chris has just posted here, Alabama now with 5 Maxwell Award winners, very, very well deserved. And, hopefully some foreshadowing here.
And here's that video of Bryce talking about how he stays cool, how he stays calm. Great soundbite from Bryce Young.
How did you learn growing up? How did you learn not to get rattled on the field? And 2, when was the last time you felt rattled on the field?
Yeah, I think it comes to experience. When you start playing athletics, you kind of just you have to feel everything out, feel your process out. And, for me, I've kind of realized, just how I operate the best and function the best is typically from a more just calm, state of mind. So for me, it's just being in that that mindset, as much as I can, just to try to maximize, my efficiency and do what's best for the team. And again, it comes through reps, comes through experience. And then, truthfully, it really comes through faith for me. For me, how I kind of look at everything is, I'm not really in control, I would say, of what happens. I'm not in control of outcome. For me, I'm a vessel, and I'm a tool that's being, used and manipulated. So for me, everything's already written, everything's been determined, and, I have complete trust and faith in, where everything, how everything's going to unfold. So for me, that kind of clarity, that really takes, any sort of pressure, like not urgency, but any sort of any sort of tenseness out for me. That's just kind of what I believe. That's how I live by. So, for me, that's how I view it. So because of that, it kind of helps me. It helps me be in the mindset that I am.
A lot said there by Bryce Young, who started the award show off with a big award, the O'Brien, and then finished it off with the Maxwell Award. And Kyle, you said it. I mean, he's wearing the turtleneck on TV, and then he's talking on this video like a pretty humble guy.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great way to close out the show, and thanks for everybody that was watching us. I mean, the guy doesn't speak like a sophomore. I think that he's very well grounded. I mean, he's very humble. Really like his demeanor, and really appreciate just everything that he's done this season. Just kind of looking at it from the outside in, because this season is very special. He's done a fantastic job orchestrating this offense under a new offensive coordinator. I think there was a large majority of people who didn't feel that he'd be this successful, have went against him a few times, and he's just stayed calm, he stayed cool, and he put together a great season. So great way to end the night with Bryce Young winning the Maxwell Award.
All right, look, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. Like and subscribe, hit the thumbs up. We really appreciate you being with us for the last 2 hours. All of the awesome super chats, guys, goes a long way. We can't thank you enough for all of that. Chris Daughtry, awesome job behind the scenes. And for Trey Yanity and Kyle Henderson, I'm Mick Gillespie. Bryce Young will be back on Saturday, 7 o'clock Central Time. Let's see what happens. He's going for the Heisman. I think he's going to get it. We'll find out. Make sure that you make plans to be here for that. We'll talk to you then. Good night.